Good morning. So I wanted to talk for a minute about my journey with my skin and something a little different that kind of came to the forefront for me just a few minutes ago, reminded me of our journeys and all of the issues that we have around our extra skin and some of the embarrassment and grief and shame that comes with carrying all of that extra weight for so very long. My youngest daughter, when she was 14 years old, started to have these really weird, disparate symptoms. She had super, super, super awful, off-the-charts headaches. She occasionally passed out. She complained about her knees, her joints. She had, when she went to the eye doctor actually said she's lying because her eyes were, he would say, okay, 1 or 2, and she'd pick 1, and then he'd say, okay, 3 or 4, and then she'd pick 4, and he'd be like, that doesn't make any sense. So all of these weird, she had trouble swallowing. She had, she was taller than anybody in my family. And all of these weird, disparate symptoms that we didn't even connect all the dots until finally, after, oh my gosh, umpteen hospital visits to try to get her headaches under control with morphine and saline and just an incredible number of doctor's visits, and the doctors would say, well, we're only going to talk about one. We only have 10 minutes. One symptom. Which one? Pick one. After multiple doctors and multiple symptoms and multiple years, we finally found a neurologist who scheduled an MRI for her, and she had it on the day after her 18th birthday. She had already missed so much of high school. We weren't sure she was even going to graduate from high school. She missed her prom. She missed homecoming. She missed so many things. She missed and became very homebodied and very clingy to me. So on the day after her 18th birthday, the neurologist diagnosed her with something called Arnold-Chiari malformation. It's spelled Arnold regular, Chiari malformation, and it's actually malformation 1. 2 is spina bifida, but 1 basically means that in layman's terms, her brain is a size 10 and her skull is a size 9. So her cerebellum was leaching down into her brainstem about 10 millimeters. And that was the only way that they were able to diagnose this with an MRI. And once they figured that out, basically what happens is that as the cerebellum is pressing into the cerebral spinal fluid, it creates pockets of extra pressure. It was causing her optic nerve to sometimes change, which was explaining her doctor's visit with the eye doctor and the reasons why she could never figure out why she sometimes could see and sometimes she couldn't. It was impacting her swallowing mechanism. It was impacting some of the nerves that went down into the rest of her body, which is all of her nerves. And of course, it was creating pressure on her brain. It was also, ironically, helping her grow taller because her pituitary gland was flat as a pancake and was not emitting the proper amounts or too many hormones. Anyway, off the charts, bizarre stuff. There's like 85 different symptoms that can come with this type of condition, and they're all so weird and wonky. It's not at all a lovely thing to have, and when her cerebellum is that far down, they recommend surgery, and what they do is they open up the base of her foramen magnum, which is the hole at the base of her skull. They open that up and enlarge it, and then they also remove the back of her first vertebrae. For her, that's what they did. And within 2 weeks, her cerebellum pulled back up into the base of her skull, which is just mind-boggling to me. Her headaches went away immediately. She's had some disparate symptoms still from that, but basically she has a lot of really, really great a lot of really, really great results from having that surgery. There were, oh my gosh, so many weird things that happened after. She was in a wheelchair for 6 months. She was rear-ended 6 months after she started back at school. She got her GED and was back in college, and she was rear-ended, which is like one of the two things she's not supposed to do with this condition and this type of surgery. So believe me, that wasn't the end of the road by any stretch. But what I'm trying to say here is that my daughter missed most of her high school. She missed all of those beautiful things that happen when we're growing up, and all of the ugly things too, ironically. But what she did have was this incredible wisdom around her own journey and what happened for her with that journey. She learned the value of climbing Mount Si. She learned the value of getting up in the morning and not having to worry about her head. She learned the value of really, really appreciating the beautiful sunshine and the waterfalls and all of the gifts that nature has to give to us. Her love of life is dramatically altered because of that experience. And I watch her and revel, because that's how I feel. For every piece of my extra skin, I have an extra love and an extra passion for life. I had given up. I was done. I was shame-filled. I couldn't understand. But I accepted the fact that I was going to be morbidly obese for the rest of my life, however long that was. Even when I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and high cholesterol at 315 pounds, I knew I couldn't lose all of the weight, but I knew I could somehow impact that by moving again and doing some things to help lower some of my weight. But I had no expectations that I would ever lose the weight. And then Bright Line Eating came into my life. And you all, you have so supported my journey and so made every day that much more special. And every time that I pull on my interesting pieces of skin or deal with all of this extra loveliness or press on my collarbones or my shin bones or lay on my side and feel my hips and feel the muscles coming out. Last night I was laying and I had my legs together. First of all, that's fucking crazy, because I used to have such a problem with my knees that I had to sleep with a pillow between my legs. And now my knees were together and I was like, oh my God, that's bone against bone. It's fucking nuts. It's nuts. And yes, I have extra skin, but it reminds me every day about where I came from and how glorious this journey has been and how uplifting my days are and how beautiful and brilliant the sun is every day. And hearing me laugh, and I laugh a lot now, hearing me laugh at all of the beautiful things that happen to me every day, the TSA, the struggling to pull on my pants and pushing in my extra skin in those different glorious little pockets that I have in my pants, folding my boobs into my bra, my smaller bra. It's a beautiful thing, and I wouldn't change a thing, and I am so fucking proud of me. and so proud of each and every one of you for having the courage to dream and the courage to enact on those dreams. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be with you all. And me in my... I'm wearing contacts. Who does this at 59? I'm trying contacts for the first time, and I love them, and apparently now, because I've been crying, they're going to be smoky. But I'll live with this little fog that I have right now because I have no more fog in my head. And I'm super excited to be here. Happy fucking Friday, everybody.